13th. I'm Rachel Remy.
And I'm Hope Reyna.
And you're watching News Now. Hurricane Matthew reached a Category 5 on October 1st with a strength of 160-mile-per-hour winds. Matthew made a landfall in Haiti and eastern Cuba on October 4th as a Category 4. The storm's eye has also fluctuated in size during the early evening. This is a sign of rebuilding, and it is likely to intensify over the night.
Sunday night, in the second presidential debate, Hillary Clinton won with 46% of the polls. This win now puts Clinton 13 points ahead of Trump. Even with his loss, Donald Trump has cleared some things up with the public.
In international news, Russian bombings of Syrian cities may cause war crime investigation. After the bombing of the city Aleppo, France has stated their desire to summon them for the International Criminal Court, or the ICC. However, due to the number of countries that have not yet ratified the ICC, it is unlikely that they will be tried.
There has been many creepy clown sightings across the United States. There has been dozens of reports going back to late August. More than a dozen people have been arrested, and it seems like a new sighting goes up every hour.
Recently, one person died and 8 were wounded in a party in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The shooting happened early Sunday morning. The 8 people are expected to survive.
Have you ever been to a horror musical? Richard O'Brien's Rocky Horror Show returns for its 8th season at the McMorran Theater. The musical will take place the 21st of October from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock.
I know the Rocky Horror Show is a big hit around here, and I've never been. I think it would be fun to go sometime.
It'd be a really great experience. Like as you, I've never been there either.
So now we'll head over to sports with Ben.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Let's kick off these stories on the football field. Matthew Stafford, Detroit Lions quarterback, got his helmet ripped off Sunday, October 9th by defensive lineman of the Philadelphia Eagles, Fletcher Cox. Stafford, although taking a hit from linebacker Connor Barwin, did not get injured, and he and his team finished the game 24-23. On the college football scene, the Michigan football team faced the Rutgers on Saturday night in Piscataway. The final score was 78-0, and Michigan greatly outclassed the Rutgers that night. The 78-point margin was the biggest according to the database at Sports Reference. Michigan had a total of 11 touchdowns that game. It was the second largest road win since 1936. Moving on to the baseball locale, the Toronto Blue Jays have eliminated the Texas Rangers by sweeping them in the American League Division Series, and the Cleveland Indians look to do the same as they're up 2 games over the Boston Red Sox. In local sports news, the Marysville cross-country and football teams have both had amazing seasons so far. The varsity football team is 7-0 this season and are on the road to the MAC Gold Championships. The cross-country team has won most of their meets so far this year and will hopefully continue with more this season. We're going to take a short break by now, but stay tuned for more great and interesting stories coming up on News Now.
Oh, hey, bud. Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
With Gary and Todd?
Yeah?
I've been meaning to ask you, is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No?
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
And welcome back to News Now. So Rachel, I have a pretty strange story to tell us.
I do. A home security camera caught a killer clown with a knife attempting to get into a family home. It appears as if he was trying to break in through the door around 2:30 a.m. He was caught on several cameras walking around the property trying to find a way to enter the home.
Recently, something inspirational has happened in Marysville. Marysville JV soccer player Shane McCollum scored a goal against the Roseville soccer team. Shane McCollum is the manager for the Marysville soccer team and has Down syndrome. Everyone on the Roseville team was honored for their sportsmanship.
I think it's really great that Shane was able to score his first goal this season.
Me too. I feel like it's a really great thing that a lot of people have sportsmanship and care to show the way they feel for other people.
I agree. So now we'll head over to Caitlin with more school news.
Thanks, girls. Next week, the juniors of Marysville High School will be taking the PSAT. This test is used to determine readiness for college and qualification for the SAT, which will be taken in the spring. In other local news, voters will decide on a new proposal for Marysville Public Schools November 8th. On the ballot is a sinking fund, which would be used for remodeling, repair, and replacement of buildings. Since the fund is strictly for repair, the district won't have to tap its general funds as much, meaning that more money is available directly to benefit students and classrooms. The Marysville High School girls cross country team has recently won their third consecutive MAC title win. The girls are working to continue doing well by attempting to advance to the state finals again. On the boys' side of cross country, they will be competing at the MAC and regionals. We'll be back with more after this break.
Some dreams are universal. Dreams that inspire us. Multiple sclerosis is a devastating disease that changes lives forever. The National MS Society does more for people with MS than any organization in the world. But we can't do it alone. To get involved, visit us online at nationalmssociety.org or call 1-800-FIGHT-MS. This is why we're here. Because nobody dreams of having multiple sclerosis.
Hello, and welcome back to News Now. So, Aaron, I hear you have some very interesting technology stories for us.
Yeah, Rachel. A Google test driver was hospitalized after getting T-boned by a van that ran a red light near the company's headquarters in Mountain View, California. For more than 7 years, Google has been testing self-driving cars. This is one of the most serious crashes involving its cars. Google's September report also shows that the vehicles have driven more than 2 million miles on public roads. In other tech news, controversy over recently struck Facebook when they evaded over $5 million in taxes owed to the United Kingdom. Only being paid half of what they asked for, UK is becoming more and more irritated with the internet-based companies evading their tax laws. This has happened with Google and Apple as well. Facebook ended up apologizing for it and repaid the UK in full. Even though the new iPhone 7 has many new features like a 12-megapixel camera with faster speeds and brighter displays, it may not be the most popular phone on the market. Google has created a new phone called the Google Pixel. It is predicted to take over iPhones. The new phone comes with unlimited photo space and has Google Assistant.
You know, those new Google phones sound really interesting, but personally, I'm team iPhone, so I think I'll stick with the iPhones.
I think that the Google phones would be good for people who like to take pictures and are like really creative with that stuff.
Yeah, that seems right too. So now we'll head over to entertainment with Nathaniel.
Thank you, Rachel. The holiday season is beginning, leading to many new video games to be released. Games like Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 on October 25th, and Just Dance 2017 on October 25th. Then in November, Pokemon Sun and Moon on November 12th, and Final Fantasy 15 on November 29th. In this week's entertainment news, a new show has hit the theaters Deepwater Horizon, a film based on true events from a drilling rig that exploded in the Gulf of Mexico, killing several crew members. Watch the sailors fight the flames to make it out alive. In other entertainment news, the joint production movie from Marvel Studios and Sony Pictures of Spider-Man will be released in a year. As production for the movie is beginning to rack up, the talk of sequels and spin-offs for the movie have begun. Sony Pictures is hoping to continue the partnership with Marvel Studios in the future.
You know, that new Spider-Man movie seems really cool, and I hope to go see it when it comes out.
I do too. I feel like Spider-Man's probably on one of the top lists for my favorite superheroes, so.
Yeah, I would agree. Thanks for joining us today for News Now. I'm Rachel Remy.
And I'm Hope Reyna.
On M6, your hometown station.